What's good, guys? So today I have failed because I went out with my homie Rodrigo to film this video for you guys, which is the Ronin S versus the Ronin S2. And unfortunately, I don't know what happened with the S1H. I think I had the audio messed up. I remember I used it for some other job, and anyways, it was messed up and everything peaked, and the audio and everything that was used today basically was trash. So I gotta film the talking points in my studio, which I kind of wanted to get out of this, but that's what we're gonna do today. So Ronin S versus Ronin S2. So let's get on with it.
I hop out the car, leave the motor running. Why you always talking like you know something? Why you always talking, going show 'em something? No stunt double, I do my own stunt.
Alright, so first of all, before we begin the video, I do want to say thanks to Rodrigo. Shout out to him. Follow him on his Instagram right here. So he flies FPVs. He does a little bit of everything when it comes to the filmmaking, and he happened to have the Ronin S2. He's a good friend of mine, so I decided to contact him. And I wanted to do a comparison because I haven't seen any videos out there comparing the two. They talk about it, but I really want to dive deep into these two gimbals to see, is it really worth upgrading from the Ronin S to the Ronin S2? And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm not really going to show you guys any footage from the Ronin S or the Ronin S2 in terms of using it, because I've always stated, and I never understood this when it came to these YouTube videos where they're showing gimbal shots. Like, dude, every gimbal is going to get you the same exact shot. They're all going to be smooth. That's what these gimbals are for. So in this video, we're just going to cover all the little things that they upgraded on the Ronin S2 to see if it's worth it. If you guys have the Ronin S, if it's worth upgrading, or if you guys are looking into the market and you guys are debating whether you guys want to save money and go with the Ronin S instead of the Ronin S2. So let's get started with the first thing. So the first thing clearly is going to be the payload. Now the payload on the Ronin S, which is this right here, I keep looking at it, so I guess I'll just have it on this right next to me. So the Ronin S is 8 pounds at most, and the Ronin S2, which I don't have, it was my boy Rodrigo's gimbal, it was 10 pounds. Now the one question that I had, and this is the reason why I want to make this video, well, one of the reasons is, okay, it holds 10 pounds, but how much can you really put on there? And if you guys know me, I own a Cinema Evo 1 camera, so I wanted to see the space, the gap from, you know, let's just say you're to mount the camera right here, how much space you have before it hits the back motor, because that's really the one problem that I've been having, and I hate carrying that big Ronin MX gimbal that you have to move around. It's just a hassle, so I want something small that can handle a cinema camera, and honestly, it's not gonna hold it. The S1H barely fits on the Ronin S, and on the Ronin S2, it had about an inch gap, but when it comes to the Evo 1, or let's say a Canon C200, or those type of cinema cameras, it's not gonna work unless you have like a pancake lens on them, or you use all these counterweight options. But again, with me, I don't really like adding any counterweights because that just kind of defeats the purpose of being small, easy, quick, and just, you know, able to use it and just go out and shoot. That's one thing. I don't understand the heavy payload. All mirrorless cameras for the most part, unless you're using a anamorphic lens, then yeah, the 10 pounds will definitely work with a DSLR camera. But when it comes to cinema cameras, you're going to be very limited with really using it. Just because it says 10 pounds, don't assume it's going to fit cinema cameras, unless, like I said, counterweights and whatnot. So with that said, the Ronin S2 does have a heavier payload. So if you have anamorphic lenses, yes, they're heavy, so it might work on that end. But when it comes to cinema cameras, yeah, it's not going to work. Now, I'm not talking about the Komodo and these small boxes. I'm just talking overall bigger cinema cameras. So now when it comes to weight, I wish I had the second one, but I only have this one. God, I should never messed up that audio. But the Ronin S, it is a lot heavier, not by much, but you do feel a difference when you're using, let's say, the Ronin S2. For a lot of you users that you shoot weddings throughout the whole day, that's, I mean, again, this doesn't really bother me. I shoot weddings all day and it does not bother me. But if you guys just want something smaller and lighter, the Ronin S2 would definitely be a better option. Now the next comparison I want to make with the Ronin S and the Ronin S2 that I really love when it comes to Ronin S2 is the lock mechanisms that they added on the Ronin S2. So with that gimbal, you can lock all the axes. So let's just say if you guys are traveling, which I actually traveled to New York twice last year, the one thing that I hated with the Ronin S is I don't put it in the backpack. I put it right outside on the side, and it just flims and just wobbles everywhere. I had to put rubber bands to, you know, hold the motors from like banging all over the place. Compared to the new one, they lock in place. So you can put it outside your backpack as I did on the side pocket, and it's not gonna wobble, it's not gonna bang, it's gonna stay firm. And that's one big benefit and one big improvement that I like, that I wish they did on the Ronin S. Now the next improvement that they added on the Ronin S2 compared to the Ronin S is this side, the pen. So notice how if you're to move left to right, it's a little stiff. Like sometimes you guys tend to go too much and then you guys gotta push it back. On the Ronin S2, it is smooth, it is butter, so you no longer have to kind of fight when it comes to balancing. It's a little stiff when it came down to the Ronin S, so the Ronin S2 is built better. And then when it comes to the tilting on the balancing part, the Ronin S2 has a little knob that you can just basically move the base plate front and back, so it's a lot easier. Things like that, they definitely focused in on that, so that's something for you guys to take into account if you guys do have issues with this, or if you guys don't want to deal with it because you guys don't have this, then the Ronin S2 would definitely be a better gimbal. The next thing I want to mention, and it's a good thing that my friend Rodrigo owns the Blackmagic 6K, so we all know that camera is weird, oddly shaped. The one benefit when it comes to that 6K on the Ronin S2, you don't need any counterweights. All you need is the base plate that he had, which is a little longer on the bottom, and that allows you to tweak left to right, because on the new Ronin RS, it doesn't allow you to go left to right. It's just basically, that's it. It only allows you to go front and back for the tilt, but it does not let you go left and right. So you do need that base plate, but besides that, once you get that, you're able to balance the Blackmagic 6K no problem. You don't need any extra accessories, any counterweights like you did on the Ronin S. So if you guys own Blackmagic cameras, just know it is a lot easier on the Ronin S too. So if you guys do own Blackmagic 6Ks, I would think it's definitely worth the upgrade, because you don't have to deal with all these things that I've seen people deal with when it comes to Ronin S. If you guys have it caged up, you know, it's just a disaster on the Ronin S. The Ronin S2 will be a lot easier. Now when it comes to battery life, they're both the same. They both have 12 hours of runtime. However, when it comes to charging, the Ronin S2 is a lot better because it charges in half the time compared to the Ronin S. Now another benefit that they added on the Ronin S2 that the Ronin S doesn't have is a super smooth option that you can go ahead and just put on the Ronin S2, and it gives you smoother footage. But I don't give that a benefit to Ronin S2 because I've never had an issue with the Ronin S. If you balance it right, you're not gonna get any wobbles, any jitters. Again, I'm not gonna provide gimbal footage because you guys won't know. I could shoot with the Weeble S, I could shoot with any gimbal, and you guys won't even know that it was not shot with these two because they all do the same job as I mentioned at the beginning. Now the next thing that they added on the Ronin S2, they didn't really add, I think they improved it, but I never used this feature even with the Ronin S, was the focus wheel. I've used to have it and I took it off just because I never used it. But you know, on this one you have to have one hand and then you gotta just basically move it with the focus wheel, so you need both hands to rack focus. On the Ronin S2, the focus wheel is here basically, so with one hand you can just focus, and the other hand you don't need to have it if you don't want. Let's just say it's nighttime, you want to hold one light, you can do that while still racking and doing your gimbal magic. It's a lot to do, but you can do it like that. Now the next thing that they added on the Ronin S2, and this is where I feel like it definitely separates them, is the screen that they added on the Ronin S2. The reason why I say that is, you know, for me, I don't mind using my phone, but sometimes, and I know a lot of us have dealt with this issue in the past when it comes from, you know, we're on set and we're filming, our phone could be dead or it's dying and we really don't want to use it, or we want to save that battery life. Well, now on the Ronin S2, the screen is on the gimbal, so you can calibrate it, you can set functions. There's a lot of different options you can do on there that you no longer need your phone, so everything could be done on that screen. I wish this had it. That is one thing that I really liked. So just know you can do a lot of things on the Ronin S2 in the gimbal. You no longer need to take out your phone, and it's really easy to run through the menu. It's touchscreen, so yeah, that's a big benefit that I feel like they added on the Ronin S2. Now additional things that the Ronin S2 has is like Raven Eye, has all these other things that they added, but I'm not gonna go in there just because I didn't use it. So this is just based on someone that just wants to grab the gimbal, go out and shoot. I think I covered for the most part everything. Now the Ronin S2 is a lot lighter, it's smaller, more compact compared to the Ronin S. But the real question is, should you guys upgrade from the Ronin S? And from my experience from using this gimbal today, I will say no. Yes, the hype out there is real. You know, it looks nice, it's more sleek, it just looks better, right? That you want to just buy it. But when it comes to functionality, I think overall there's no reason for me to upgrade. The Ronin S does the job. I always tell everybody, the gimbal is a gimbal. It's going to do the job. There's a new gimbal that might change different things, but the one reason why I'm held back and I'm not gonna get the Ronin S2 is because the back motor, I feel like they crippled that part where you can't put these bigger cinema cameras just to protect the Ronin 2 lineup, which makes sense. The Ronin 2 is $8,000. If they made this on the Ronin S2, then you know they will lose sales. So that's one reason why I'm not buying it. I wanted more space in the back in order for me to mount my Cinema Evo 1 instead of taking that big Ronin MX. So that's why I'm not switching. But if you guys don't own the Ronin S, then I feel like the Ronin S2 is a good option if you guys have the money. But the Ronin S is not a bad option, and it does the job. If you guys want those little features such as the touch screen, the lock mechanism, those little things, then yeah, jump up. But if you guys have the Ronin S already, I don't think it's worth upgrading. I'd rather buy the Ronin S. The Ronin S, you can buy them used. You know, you guys can definitely get away with a gimbal like this that's gonna do the job and it holds a heavier payload. Same runtime when it comes to hours. For the most part, you know, the gimbal is gonna do its job. So hopefully this video can help you guys decide whether you guys wanna upgrade from the Ronin S to the Ronin S2, or if you guys are looking into the market and you guys are debating whether you guys want to spend the like 900 bucks on the Ronin S2 compared to the Ronin S, so you guys can find it for like 350, 300 bucks, 400. You know, I will leave that up to you guys on that end. But if this video helped you guys, definitely drop it a like, comment if you guys have any further questions that I probably didn't cover on this video, and subscribe if you guys are new here. I will always appreciate it. Hopefully you guys like my new lighting setup, and I kind of messed it up. I kind of blocked that light back there. Oh well. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. My name is Mario. Peace out, guys.
I hop out the car, leave the motor running. Why you always talking like you know something? Why you always talking, gon' show 'em something? No stunt double, I do my own stunt.